Let's be honest, the golden rule of marketing has always been simple. Sell, sell, sell. Brands spend billions every year screaming for our attention, begging for our clicks, and trying to create a desire for things we never even knew we needed. But what if a brand did the exact opposite? Picture this. It's 2011, Black Friday. The single busiest, most chaotic shopping day of the year. A day basically dedicated to the holy ritual of consumerism. One company takes out a full-page ad in the New York Times. It shows their best-selling fleece jacket, but the headline isn't "Buy now" or 50% off. The headline is just 5 shocking words. Don't buy this jacket. This was an act of commercial defiance. It sounded like complete business suicide. It should have crippled them. Instead, something incredible happened. Patagonia's sales didn't just stay flat, they skyrocketed by over 30% the very next year. How? How did telling people not to buy their product lead to a massive sales spike and help build an empire now worth over $1 billion? This wasn't a fluke. It was a calculated move, part of a philosophy that has built one of the most loyal brand followings in the world. And today, we're breaking down the 5 anti-marketing secrets Patagonia used to defy all the rules. Secret number 1, the power of radical honesty. So, the first secret is maybe the most counterintuitive of them all, radical honesty. In an industry famous for airbrushing reality and hiding its secrets, Patagonia chose to put its own flaws on full display. To get why this is so brilliant, you have to understand the modern consumer. We're living in an age of skepticism, right? We get bombarded with thousands of ads a day, and our brains have gotten really good at filtering them out. We've been promised the world by slick campaigns only to be let down. This has created a generation, especially millennials and Gen Z, who have an almost allergic reaction to being marketed to. We don't just want authenticity, we demand it. Patagonia figured this out way before anyone else. That "Don't buy this jacket" ad wasn't just a clever headline, it was a manifesto. Below the shocking title, the ad didn't list cool features. Instead, it listed the environmental costs of making that exact jacket. It explained that producing one R2 fleece required 135 liters of water, enough to meet the daily needs of 45 people. It confessed that making it generated nearly 20 pounds of carbon dioxide, 24 times the jacket's weight. It was essentially a confession, a public admission that their own business, a business celebrating the outdoors, was also helping to destroy it. And this is where the psychological genius kicks in. By doing this, Patagonia created a paradox in our minds. A company that makes money selling jackets was giving you environmental reasons not to buy one. It forces you to stop and ask, why would they do that? The immediate conclusion is that a brand this honest about its negatives must be incredibly confident about its positives, its values, and the quality of its product. The result was staggering. Sales jumped by 1/3, not in spite of the ad, but because of it. People weren't just buying a jacket, they were buying into a philosophy. They were rewarding the brand for its integrity. Patagonia stopped treating its customers like targets and started treating them like intelligent partners. This act of radical honesty didn't just build brand awareness, it built deep, lasting trust. The kind of trust no Super Bowl ad could ever buy. Second secret, selling an identity, not a product. The second secret is that Patagonia doesn't really sell clothes. It sells an identity. This is the heart of what you might call tribal marketing. The idea is that the best brands don't just sell what they make, they sell why they make it. They create a symbol that lets people signal to the world who they are and what they believe in. For most clothing companies, the relationship ends when you check out. Their goal is to get you to buy another shirt next season and another the season after that. It's the engine of fast fashion, a model built to be disposable. Patagonia's approach is the complete opposite. Their goal is for you to never have to buy that jacket again. This idea is perfectly captured by their Wornwear program. It started as a simple blog showing people who had kept their Patagonia gear for decades, but it grew into a revolutionary business model. Patagonia actively encourages you to repair your old gear instead of replacing it. They even run one of the largest garment repair facilities in North America to help you do it. And if a piece of clothing is truly beyond saving, they encourage you to sell it back to them so they can refurbish it and sell it second-hand on their Wornwear site. Think about how insane this is from a traditional business perspective. They are actively creating a booming market for their own used products, a market that directly competes with their brand new stuff. It's like Ford opening a huge, successful dealership that only sells used F-150s right next door to their main showroom. The psychological impact here is profound. It totally reframes what it means to own something. A purchase isn't just a quick transaction, it's the start of a relationship. It creates an emotional connection, not just to the brand, but to the item itself. That scuff on your jacket isn't a flaw, it's a memory from a climb in Yosemite. That patch on the sleeve isn't a defect. It's a badge of honor from a fishing trip in Montana. The product becomes part of your story. By promoting repair and reuse, Patagonia taps into our desire for meaning and permanence in a world of passing trends. They're saying, we don't want you to be a mindless consumer, we want you to be a mindful owner. This turns customers into members of a tribe that values quality over quantity and sustainability over status. And that feeling of belonging creates a loyalty so powerful it can feel almost cult-like. Secret number 3. Weaponizing purpose-driven activism. Secret number 3 is how Patagonia weaponizes its purpose. Most companies treat social responsibility like a PR tactic, a small department that puts out a press release on Earth Day. For Patagonia, activism isn't a department, it's the entire company. And this goes way beyond just using recycled materials. Patagonia has a long history of taking bold, often controversial political stances. This is a brand that will sue the United States government to protect public lands, and then turn that lawsuit into a marketing campaign. This is a company that, during the 2020 election, sewed tags into their shorts that read, "Vote the a-holes out." They close all their stores on Election Day to encourage everyone to vote. And in 2016, on Black Friday, they didn't just tell people not to buy stuff, they promised to donate 100% of their sales, not profits, but every single dollar, to environmental groups. They thought they'd raise a few million. They hit $10 million, shattering all expectations, and gave it all away. For a typical marketing exec, this is a nightmare. The cardinal rule of building a huge brand is to never, ever get political and risk alienating customers. But Patagonia doesn't want to be a brand for everyone. They have a point of view, and they're not afraid to lose people who don't share it. This is where the psychology is so powerful. This aggressive strategy creates a strong us versus them feeling. It energizes their core audience. When you see Patagonia fighting for a cause you believe in, the brand stops feeling like a corporation and starts feeling like an ally in a shared battle. Buying a Patagonia jacket feels less like a purchase and more like a political statement, a way of funding the fight. And then, in 2022, founder Yvon Chouinard made the ultimate move. Instead of selling the company or taking it public, which would have made his family billionaires, he transferred 100% of the company's ownership. The voting stock went to a trust designed to legally ensure the company's values can never be compromised. And all the non-voting stock, the part that generates wealth, was given to a non-profit fighting the environmental crisis. The company's new slogan became, "Earth is now our only shareholder." That single act was the most powerful piece of marketing in the company's history. It was the ultimate, undeniable proof that their purpose was real. They didn't just talk the talk, they structured their entire multi-billion-dollar future around walking the walk. Secret number 4, transforming customers into advocates. Patagonia's 4th secret is its ability to turn its customers into a volunteer army of brand advocates. They do this by making people feel like they're part of the brand's journey, not just watching from the sidelines. Lots of brands talk about community, but they usually just mean a Facebook page. Patagonia's approach is much deeper. It's built on education and empowerment. A perfect example is a tool on their website called The Footprint Chronicles. Since 2007, this feature has let any customer trace their product's entire journey, from the farm that grew the cotton to the factory that sewed it, with details on the environmental impact and labor practices at every step. This level of transparency is basically unheard of in the secretive fashion industry, but it's also a powerful psychological move. By giving customers this information, Patagonia is inviting them into the process. They're saying, look, we're not perfect, but we're trying to be accountable, and we want you to hold us to it. This transforms a customer from a passive buyer into an active participant who feels a sense of ownership in the brand's mission. This spirit carries over into the real world too. Patagonia stores are often designed as community hubs, not just shops. They host film screenings, guest speakers, and workshops on environmental activism or how to repair your gear. They connect their customers with local grassroots organizations, turning belief into real-world action. The end result is a powerful feedback loop. Patagonia empowers its community. That community becomes more engaged, and that engaged community becomes the brand's best marketing channel. Word of mouth is the most powerful form of advertising, and Patagonia has built a machine that generates it on a massive scale. When someone wears a Patagonia jacket, they're not just wearing a jacket. They know its story, they believe in the mission, and they have the passion to be a walking, talking billboard for the brand's values. Number 5, the psychology of the contrarian command. The final secret brings us full circle, right back to that wild ad in the New York Times. It's the masterful use of what you could call the contrarian command. This is a deep psychological play on a tendency we all have called reactance. Reactance theory basically says that when people feel like their freedom to choose is being threatened, they get an urge to restore that freedom. And a common way to do that is to do the exact opposite of what you were told. Tell a teenager not to listen to a certain band, and that band instantly becomes their favorite. In a marketing world where every single message is yelling, buy, 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 the most jarring message you can possibly deliver is don't. The Don't Buy This Jacket campaign was a masterclass in using this. In the overwhelming noise of Black Friday, Patagonia's message cut through the clutter like a knife. It was so unexpected, so against every rule of business, that you couldn't ignore it. It forced people to stop and actually think about the ad on a much deeper level. But it's more than just a clever trick. The contrarian command works because it positions the brand as your equal. A normal ad is a top-down order. You need this. Buy it. Patagonia's message was a peer-to-peer suggestion. You probably don't need this. Think about it. This subtle shift shows immense respect for your intelligence. It tells you that Patagonia trusts you to make the right call for yourself. This creates a flood of positive feelings. The brand feels more authentic, more confident, and more aligned with your values, and you, the customer, feel empowered. The act of buying the jacket becomes an act of defiance, not against Patagonia, but against the whole system of throwaway consumerism. You're saying, I'm not buying this because it's on sale. I'm buying it because I agree with your philosophy. I'm choosing to invest in a quality product from a company I believe in. So, what's the one big idea that ties all these secrets together? It's this. Patagonia's anti-marketing isn't a collection of clever tactics. It's the natural result of a deeply authentic and unwavering brand mission. None of this would work on its own. A radical honesty campaign would fail if it wasn't backed by real activism. The Worn Wear program would feel like a gimmick if the products weren't durable enough to last for decades. The Vote the H Holds Out tag would have been a PR disaster if the company didn't have a 40-year history of advocacy to prove they meant it. The reason Patagonia's strategy is so successful is because it's not really marketing at all. It's just a manifestation of the company's core mission, a mission established by its founder long before it was trendy. They don't just sell products, they sell a worldview. The jackets and backpacks are just the souvenirs people buy to show they're part of the bigger idea. And that's a strategy that can't be easily copied because it can't be faked. A competitor could try running a "don't buy this" ad, but without decades of authentic action to back it up, we'd all see right through it. It would feel hollow. Patagonia's success comes from the simple fact that their message and their actions are exactly the same. So, let's recap. 1. Build trust through radical honesty, even when it means admitting your flaws. Secret number 2. Sell an identity, not a product, by creating long-term relationships. Secret number 3. Weaponize your purpose with bold, authentic stances that rally your tribe. Secret number 4. Turn your customers into advocates by building a community around education. And secret number 5. Use the contrarian command to cut through the noise and show respect for your audience. In the end, Patagonia's greatest marketing secret was to not really market at all. Instead, they just led with a mission so compelling, so authentic, and so defiant that people couldn't help but buy in. If you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most interesting brands.